Hi students, in this video I am going to explain about how to plot the root locus for the given open loop transfer function. Let me see that question. Obtain the root locus plot for the given open loop transfer function with unity feedback is g of s h of s equals to k divided by s into s plus 5 into s plus 10. So here the given transfer function is open loop transfer function. So how we can say that means if it is closed loop we have to represent like this 1 plus g of s and h of s. Okay, so here they given only g of s h of s equals to k divided by s into s plus 5 into s plus 10. So here g of s can be written as k divided by s into s plus 5 s plus 10 and h of s. So here unity feedback means h of s equals to 1. So this is the terms given in the problem. So already you know that the steps, right? So the first step is to find the location of poles and zeros. So while observing the transfer function there is no numerator roots, so you have only k, so that is a constant. So it means that there is no zeros, so that's why I denoted here number of zeros m is equals to 0. And well, denominator it will come the s cubed term, so it means that it will get the 3 roots. So the number of poles equals to 3. So what are the 3 roots? Are p1 equals to 0, p2 equals to minus 5 and p3 equals to minus 10. So already you know that the number of asymptotes formula is n minus m. Here small n is represents the number of poles and small m represents the number of zeros. So 3 minus 0 becomes 3. So this is the first step. So we will get the 3 poles. One is 0, minus 5 and minus 2. So let's move the second step to find the location of root locus. So based on our while looking the poles, it should be 0, minus 1, minus 5 and minus 10. So it is completely belongs to the LH side of the graph. So here I represented 0, minus 5, minus 10. So while see the location of root locus, there is a possibility of 3 root locus occur in the problem. So one may be available between 0 minus 5, minus 5 into minus 10 and minus 10 to minus infinity. So there is a 3 root locus are possible. Let me see that how many main real root locus will be occurred in this axis. So it should be depends on the number of roots and number of poles or zeros should be lying ahead of the test point. So first point is, if we choose the test point between 0 and minus 5, then towards the right side will be because right side there is exist of only one root it may be pole or 0, hence it is odd. So in between the 0, so here when we consider that a test point between 0 and minus, so I am here representing, so this is the test point. When we look back, when we see this towards the origin, the number of poles or zeros should be 1. So here only one root is available here, so it is odd. That's why in between 0 and minus 5 there is a root locus is available. So this is the first chance. So out of 3, one root locus will be happening here. Next, if we choose the test point between minus 5 and minus 10, so I'm considering here, so this is, let's consider this is a test point. While we look back to the right side, that is towards the origin, it has the 2 roots 1 2, so it is even number. So uh, in between minus 10 and minus 5 there is no chance to locate the root locus, because after when we look back to the towards the origin from the test point, it has the 2 roots, so 2 is a1. So in that condition there is no possibility of getting that root locus. Next, third one, if we choose the test point between minus 10 and minus infinity, then towards right side there is list of 3 roots. So if I am considering here, if I am considering test point between minus 2, minus 10 to minus infinity, when we look back to the towards the origin, it is 3 roots 1 2 3. So 3 is odd number, so there is the existing of root locus between minus 10 to minus infinity. So Out of 3 we got, there is a possibility of root locus. One is between 0 and -5. So in between -5 and -10 there is no root locus, and in between -10 to -infinity. So this is the second step, that is to find the location of root locus. Let's move the third step, to find the angle of asymptotes and centroid. So already you know the formula for angle of asymptotes. A is equals to plus or minus 180 degrees into 2q plus 1 divided by n minus m. So here this is reference the number of asymptotes, and here q can be written as q is equals to 0 comma 1 comma and to n minus 1. So n minus 1 we have 3, right? So q is equals to 0 1 2 3. So let me see that value of a while substituting q is equals to 0 1 2 3 respectively. So the first one, when q is equals to 0, a is becomes plus or minus 180 degrees, 0 plus 1 divided by 3. So 3 6 are 18. So plus or minus 60 degrees. And q is equals to 1. A will become plus or minus 180 degrees. When q is equals to 2, a is equals to plus or minus 180 degrees 5 by 3. So finally you will get 300 degrees. And q equals to 3, a is equals to 180 degrees 7 by 3 plus or minus 420 degrees. So here when you obtain that angle more than the 360 degrees, so actually we have only 360 degrees, right? So what we have to do means, we had to subtract 420 minus 360, then finally we will get so this is the correct angle. So when we convert to the angle more than 360 degrees, you can write like this. So how we can do it? By subtracting from here to minus 360 degrees, then you will get the angle. So finally for the 4 values of q we have uh, 2 4 6 8 angles. So out of 8 angles we require only first 4, that is plus or minus 60 degrees and plus or minus 60. So we require only these two, so there is no need to worry about. So there is no need to consider these 4 angles. So we have to consider only plus or minus 60 degrees and plus or 180 degrees, plus or minus 180 degrees. So these 4 angles we have to use that angle of asymptotes. Next we will see the centroid. So what is the formula for centroid? The sum of poles minus sum of zeros. So we have 3 poles, right? 0 minus 5 minus 10. So sum of poles means 0 minus 5 minus 10 minus, there is no 0, so I am representing here 0, divided by n minus m. So n minus m is 3 minus 15 divided by 3, finally you will get minus 5. So centroid is minus 5. From this point we have to draw the angle of asymptote with respect to the angles. Now let's move that fourth step, that is to find breakaway and break-in point. So if you want to find this value, definitely you have to consider that the given characteristic equation from the given transfer function. So how we can what is the representation of characteristic equation? So the denominator equation from the closed loop transfer function is called as characteristic equation. How it will be means, so already you know that closed loop transfer function g of s divided by 1 plus g of s into h of s. So this is the representation of closed loop transfer function. So here the denominator is called as characteristic equation. So from this equation, when we substitute g of s, h of s, finally you will obtain this value. So s into s plus 5 into s plus 10 plus k equals to 0. So I need the equation of k. So k equals to, the entire term should goes to the this side, minus of. So this equation, when we expand this one, finally we will get k equals to minus of s cubed plus 15s square plus 50s. After that we have to differentiate k equation with respect to s, and it should be equals to 0. So this is the k equation, right? So equals to 0. So minus, when comes to here, it should be 3s square plus 30s plus 50 equals to 0 finally. In this equation, a equals to 3, b equals to 30, c equals to 50. Now from the roots already you know the how to the equation should be used to find the roots, that is minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So while substitute these values in this equation, minus 30 plus or minus square root of 900 minus 600 divided by 6, so finally you will get two roots. One is minus 2.11, another one is minus 7.89. so this is s1 and s2. So after finding these roots, what you have to do means, you have to substitute individually in equation k. After substitution of k, the k value should be positive real, then only that point represents the breakaway point. Now let me see that by substituting these two values what will become. So when s1 is equals to minus 2.11, you will get k is equals to 48.11, so it is a positive real. Now let's see the second point. When s2 equals to minus 7.89, then you will get k value is equals to 1819.45, so it is also positive real. Now so for the 2 points we got both same positive real and positive real. These two may not be breakaway points. Why? Because so the condition for breakaway point is it should be positive real. So here the two possibilities are occurred. Now which one is exact breakaway point we had to find. So there is a one condition for breakaway point. What is that means? The breakaway point is always presence in the root locus. While we see that s1 and that is minus 2.11 and minus 7.89, only minus 2.11 is situated in the root locus area. So how means, so this here and here we have the root locus, right? So minus 2.11 we will get in between these two, so it means that it is on the root locus. And next one is minus 7.11, so it should be in between minus 5 and minus 10. So in between minus and minus 5 and minus 10 there is no root locus. So here that's why we can't able to consider minus 7.89 is a breakaway point, because it is not present in the root locus. So that's why yes, so he both have positive real, but the breakaway point is always present in the root locus part. So the breakaway point is minus 2.11. Next step is actually we have to find the angle of departure and angle of arrival, but in this problem we can't there is no need to find that the 2 points. Why? Because when it is required to find means when the roots that may be poles or zeros should be in the form of complex conjugate, we have to find that angle of arrival and angle of departure. So here we got only positive real, that is 0, minus 5 and minus 10, right? So there is no need to find the angle of arrival and angle of departure. Let's move the next step, that is to find the crossing point on imaginary axis. So from the breakaway point, how the crossing point should be crosses the imaginary axis and how it will be find. So it is these points also we can find from the characteristic equation. So this is the characteristic equation, s cubed plus 15s square plus 50s plus k equals to 0. So this is the characteristic equation. Next what we have to do means, instead of s we have to substitute j omega. So if you substitute j omega, then you will get so my j omega means j into j square. So here j's imaginary square is minus, so finally minus j omega cubed plus 15 j omega square plus 50 j omega plus k. So finally you will get that minus j omega cubed minus 15 omega square plus 50 j omega plus k equals to 0. So in this equation we have both imaginary parts and real parts. So if you choose the, if you equate the if you separate the imaginary parts and it should be equals to 0, then you will see that minus j omega cubed plus 50 j omega equals to 0. So when 50 j omega will comes to here, then you will get minus j omega cubed equals to minus 50 omega. So minus j will get cancelled, omega 1 omega here, so finally omega square equals to 50. So omega equals to root 50, omega equals to plus or minus 7.07. So when we see the graph here, in x-axis we are considering the sigma, and y-axis we are considering the j omega. So omega is the angular frequency. So that's why I'm represent this equation in the form of imaginary part. Omega equals to plus or minus j 0.7.07. So this is the crossing point on the imaginary axis. Now when we equating the real parts, that is minus 15 omega square plus k equals to 0. So minus 15 omega square equals to minus k, minus minus get cancelled, k equals to 15 into omega square. What is the omega square value here? 50. So k equals to 15 into 50. Finally k equals to 750. This value represents that the given transfer function, the given system should be stable when k is equals to more than greater than or equals to 750. సో కే వాల్యూ అనేది 750 కన్నా ఈక్వల్ కానీ మోర్ దాన్ ఉంటే ఈ ఇచ్చిన సిస్టమ్ స్టేబుల్ అయ్యడానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉంది. సో ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ లెస్ దాన్ కే, ఇట్ బికమ్స్ టు ద unstable condition. So that is the value of k representation. Now we will see that how the graph will be come from the given points. So this is the final graph we obtained. So from the we'll see the poles. We have only 0, -5 and -10. So these three are belongs to the negative axis. So that's why I'm taking more part on the LH side. So the first step, we had to find the location of 0 poles. One is 0, another one is -5, and next one is -10. So 0, -5, -10. So the pole should be represented by the cross mark. So the first step is over. Next we had to find the root locus. So there is a 3 possibility of root locus. One is between 0 and -5, -5 and -10, -10 to -infinity. So first root locus is when we consider the test point between 0 and -5. While we look back to the right side, then there is only one pole and it is odd. So there is a possibility of occurring the root locus. So we had to draw this dark line. So there is a condition for root locus. Root locus is always symmetrical about real axis. Symmetrical means where the real axis is the same, on that root locus will be represented. So that is called as symmetrical. So that's why the root locus is always symmetrical about real axis. So x-axis represents the real value, right? So next, second root locus is in between -5 -10. If we consider test point any point here, there is a two roots head towards the origin or towards the right side. So there is no root locus is possible here. And next one is if you choose the test point between -10 and -infinity, when we look back to the right side, 1 2 3, so 3 is odd number. So that's why in between -10 to -15 there is a root locus. So you have to draw like this with a dark line. So you can use any marker pen, whatever it may be. So this is the representation of root locus. Out of 3 we got only 2. One is between 0 and -5, -10 to -infinity. Next, centroid. So centroid we got what is the value of centroid? -5. So this point is known as centroid. From this centroid we have to draw the angle of asymptotes. So how we can draw means, let me take the protractor here, just keep the midpoint on the centroid. So so the first one is plus or minus 60 degrees. See here, 60 degrees. This is the representation of plus 60. And next one is sorry, so this is the -60. So plus 60 -60. So two asymptotes angles are over. Next one is plus or minus 180 degrees. So plus or minus 1, if you want to draw this 180 degrees and axis, it should be like straight line to, it should be similar to the real axis, అంటే symmetrical about real axis. So 180 degrees మనకి ఈ విధంగా వస్తుంది. So there is no need to draw the 180 degrees. So this is the way of draw the angle of asymptotes. So next step is to find the breakaway point. So we have two roots of k equation. One is minus 2.11 and one is minus 7.07. So we'll substitute these two values in equation k. Both we got real values, positive real, but the condition for breakaway point, it should be lies on the root locus. So if you consider the minus 2.11, it should be located here. So it means that this point is located on the uh, root locus, and minus 7.11 is here. So it not a part of root locus. So that's why I'm represented here. On crossing points, I got minus plus or minus 7.07. So from this breakaway point, you had to draw the line, this one. So that is plus j 0.707 minus 0. So from the break point, we have two breakaway points. One is crossing points. One is plus or minus j 7.07. Should be represented in the j imaginary. So one is plus 0.707. So it should be here, and minus 0.07 is here. So from the breakaway point, you have to draw the line like this. So this is the crossing point on the imaginary axis. See here, we'll observe these two lines, that is one is angle of asymptote and this one. This should be same, and it means that both are parallel to each other. So angle of asymptote should be like this, and this one, the crossing point axis, should be like this. So both are looking like parallel. So it should be like definitely these two lines should be parallel will come. In every problem you should have to like this. So this is about root locus plot for the given transfer function. I hope you understand this problem. Thank you.